Carly Godwin in the cleanup hole at first base. Davis at second. Tim at left. Wark is the DP with McDonald and Wright and Bloodworth at short. They will face one of the very best pitchers in all of college softball in Kelly Maxwell, who knows a lot about this series.
Kelly Maxwell, no stranger to Bedlam, but this is her first time in a Sooner uniform, and that has been a little bit of conversation leading up to this weekend. But I think knowing the type of athlete she is, it doesn't phase her. Yes, she's going to feel something, but she's so level-headed, and I think that is why Patty Gasso trusted her enough to lead her off.
It is a little on the humid side, but a cool 79 degrees, not much wind. What we have seems to be trying to blow straight out to left center field at the moment. Slight chance of rain. There is more rain in the forecast, unfortunately, for the next 2 days, as they will try to get a couple of day games here in Norman, and then both teams will set their sights on the Big 12 tournament up the road in Oklahoma City next week. Patty Gasso in her 30th year, third winningest all-time with 1,501 victories, 7 NCAA championships, including the last 3. She's been in the Hall of Fame for about a dozen years, and Kenny Gajewski played baseball here at Oklahoma, went into the turf business, then coaching, and he's one of the best in the country.
I mean, what he's done in only 9 years at Oklahoma State has been phenomenal, to be able to come into a program and just revive it back to life the way that they've competed year in and year out.
Kelly Maxwell won 58 games as a Cowgirl, now pitching against them. As Jillian Poulard steps in, also a grad transfer. She was at McNeese State out of Moss Bluff, Louisiana. Speed and energy at the top of the order as Maxwell misses high. Mike Burwell calling balls and strikes with Megan Rabin at first and Leah Dahm umpiring at third.
One thing Kenny Gajewski said whenever we got to talk to him was, we are being able to get on base. She is the trendsetter for Oklahoma State. They live and die by her energy.
And Maxwell pours that one down the middle. Poulard, two-time All-Southland Conference at McNeese. Gajewski says helping this team reach their groove. She's good for 42 and 8. Couldn't catch up. 2 and 2. Maxwell 16 and 1, 166 earned run average. Second to the Big 12 in victories, and with an opponent batting average of 170. Left-handed hitters hitting only 131 against her.
I am really curious to see what the pitching strategy is going to be here. We all know Kelly Maxwell has one of the deadliest curve backdoors combos in the country, but she also knows very well that Oklahoma State is very familiar with hitting that pitch off of her day in and day out in practice. We saw an up pitch. Might see a little bit more of that in off speed.
That one below the strike zone. The throw down to first by Hansen. And Poulard is out number 1.
This one down in the dirt, just chasing after that. The moment the zone getting a little bit too big for Poulard. And Kelly Maxwell just looks unfazed. She is just going about business as usual. You love to see that from her, especially, you can't help but notice this is a big moment for her. Full circle.
Strike 1 to Talon Edwards. Third baseman hitting .312. One of 3 Cowgirls from Oklahoma. She skipped her senior season at Southmore High School in Moore. She'll actually be a freshman this year. But she jumped right in to college softball, enrolled at 17 as a top 3 national prospect. 328, toughest strikeout in the Big 12 last year as a freshman. 2 and 1. Playing a solid third baseman. For a defense that has to make a lot of plays. Oklahoma State not a strikeout-oriented pitching staff. Maxwell's 2-1. Just missed. So you touched on it a little bit, Nicole. As a former teammate, is it an advantage to the Oklahoma State hitters having played with Kelly Maxwell?
I mean, there's not a lot that have. This is a really young team, but for the ones that have, absolutely.
That is only her 35th walk in 101 and a third innings now. So Edwards is aboard for Caroline 1.
And that's the at-bat that you want to see from Edwards, especially after Poulard's had just swinging out of the zone. Two really big hacks. You love the way that she's swinging, but you want to zone it in, especially the first batter. It was a nice job by Edwards, just slowing down the pace, slowing down the energy, getting on base for one of the hottest hitters in this OSU lineup.
And Maxwell starts Wong high. Senior from Paris, Tennessee, grad transfer from Liberty University.
Carly Keeney is actually on the Oklahoma side. She is a grad transfer from Liberty as well, and they were a battery that became best friends over the past 4 years. So this is a little bit different for them as well, facing against each other. A lot of storylines here today.
Too many to get in.
I was
just
about to say, do you think we'll get into them all in one game?
We've got a full series worth. Maxwell's starting to struggle a little bit, trying to find the strike zone early after walking Edwards behind Wong. It takes a moment before delivering. And missing 3-0.
This is the third time Maxwell has thrown 2 balls in a row consecutively. If you're in the Oklahoma State lineup right now, you're saying, let's rattle her. And 2, be patient. Let that pitch come to you. You know which one you want to chase after.
That one catches the corner high and tight, 3-1. Carly Godwin will be next. Well, right now, the Triple Crown winner for the Cowgirls leads in everything. 380, 16 homers, 46 driven in. Takes to run the count full.
And that's the pitch for these righties for Oklahoma State that they want to chase after that. Backdoor that starts off the plate and it just comes back, kisses that corner.
Out number 2.
Kelly Maxwell working both sides of the plate with the backdoor, and then she comes back in with the curveball, tight and low. That location is what gets that swing and miss. It's down at the knees at Wong. It was a great pitch, and you're going to see that all game long.
And now the first baseman, Godwin, who shoots one past the diving Alyssa Brito, and all the way to the wall past the diving Riley Boone. Here comes Poular. She is safe at the plate all the way to third. Goes Godwin, and the Cowgirls lead it to the first.
Kenny Gaiesti said going into game 1, it is all bets off. We want to get this first one in his pocket. And Riley Boone didn't field that one cleanly off the wall. You can see there she attempts to grab it before it hits the wall, not able to, and then the slide. That is the best part about it. Being able to slide away, going head first, getting that hand in there. It looks like Patty Gasso is going to try and review that. But to me, just based full speed, not slow-mo, I think she got in. I think she was safe. That's huge.
Yeah, that's how it appeared up here, but games like this, you're going to take another look. The key being Godwin not only finding the wall, but not stopping herself all the way around to third as Edwards was coming home.
And that right there.
Under the tag.
Ooh.
Or was it in time?
I don't know. That might have been in time. That is hard to tell if she got through the netting, if she got the corner of that plate or not.
Boy, that close. Is there enough to overturn it?
Hey, If you're Patty Gasso, you're sure glad you can have video review for that one.
So at the moment, 1-0, Oklahoma State.
Either way, as it stands, there has to be enough to overturn it. But either way, if they do call it out of the plate, you still have a runner at third. That was great. You mentioned it. That was great heads-up base running by Godwin. Being able to get all the way around, noticing there's a lot of commotion going on at the plate, getting over to third, really heads up by a freshman. She has just really brought a lot of big-time momentum. And we talked about it in the open. This is a game, this is a series that bring those athletes who love to compete, who just wait for moments like these. This is their chance to shine. She clearly has.
Now, would you want to be trying to calm yourself down before these games or ride the adrenaline?
I think it depends on what type of athlete you are. Some people, they perform super well whenever they are high energy, and I think of Alyssa Brito type of player, really great. And then you look on the other side, and you have Wong, who is a very calm, steady Eddie, and that is where she performs her best. It depends on what type of athlete you are. I do think going into a series like this, you shouldn't try to do anything outside of your normal routine. Well, that's where you get mixed up.
That's what Kenny Gajewski wants from them anyway, be themselves.
Yeah, being able to find that little piece that you can hang on to of, hey, I love to play softball. We get to be out here on a beautiful Friday night in front of a big crowd. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of electricity in the air. What better way to play the game I love? And if you can hold on to that, if you can hold on to the competition mindset, that'll put you in a great spot.
This is what they continue to review.
I mean, I understand why it's taking so long. If you're a fan, you're probably going, what is taking so long? But this one is a tough one.
They overturn the ball out at the plate, says Mike Burwell.
True to its name, Bedlam already here in the top of the first inning.
What a first here in Norman. Sooners coming to bat, still scoreless. Well, for about 10 minutes or so, it was 1-0. And then the call of the plate overturned. And so we are still scoreless as the Sooners again against Kyra Aycock. And Jada Coleman, 405 with 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Followed by Pickering, Jennings, Brito, Hansen, catching the 5-hole. Parker, Torres, Sanders, and Boone.
Expect the unexpected. I think that's the mindset that Gajewski went, starting Aycock here. 70 innings, 3.17 ERA. The thing that she's really going to have to go into, the ball to strike ratio, 34 walks, strikeout to base on ball ratio, 46 strikeouts to 34 walks in only 70 innings. With a very disciplined Oklahoma offense, you are going to have to bring those balls in a little bit tighter to get those nibbles, to get those offers early on. And that's what you want right there.
Missed on her first 3. Coleman, senior from the Colony, Texas. Three and 2. Last year, Big 12 Player of the Year, first team All-America for the 3rd time, and all Women's College World Series. 405 would be her career low. That kind of says everything about Jada Coleman's career. As Aycock misses wide, and Coleman is aboard.
Coleman, a burst of energy. Oklahoma, they're clearly trying to carry that momentum that they snatched away from Oklahoma State. Getting Jada Coleman on base, lead off early on, that is huge because she not only is a great batter, but a very, very cunning base runner. So you have to be smart with how you pitch to Cassie Pickering here.
And they started her with the play only available at first base. So Pickering able to advance Coleman to scoring position. A swinging bunt type contribution from Pickering, and that will bring T.R.A. Jennings to the plate. Senior from San Pedro, California, 3-time first-team All-America, with lots of records possible.
Lots.
Some she's already set, some still out there to be set. As Aycock works her high and away. 386, 18 homers, 55 runs batted in. 7th in career home runs with 91, 6th with 300 career runs batted in. 2-0.
And again, very seasoned, very veteran, a lot like Jada Coleman. A great bat, but knows when to be patient. She takes 2 early balls.
High and wide again. It's not like you have less challenging hitter in the on-deck circle. That's Sabrito, 417 with 16 home runs. But Aycock serves one down the middle.
This is the second time that she's gotten behind 3-0. She might have gotten away with just a walk with Jada Coleman, but you can't do that too consistently again against this Oklahoma offense.
Out of play. And as was the case with Coleman, a full count.
But it's the first inning. It's Bedlam. Kelly Maxwell in her debut struggled, not a ton, but just struggled getting out in front with strikes early. Same thing here with Aycock.
Have you seen anyone pitch successfully to T.R.A. Jennings this year? What would be that approach?
I think being able, for one, to be unpredictable. She is so smart.
Aycock serving up the second walk of the inning. So 2 aboard with 1 out for Brito.
Pitching coach Carrie Eberle calling time, going out, talking to her pitcher. This is a moment where you need to calm your nerves, but it's pretty hard to do whenever you have Jada Coleman, T.R.A. Jennings getting the crowd up on their feet as they come in to talk to Patty Gasso. This is a hostile environment, and if you're Oklahoma State, you're used to playing in your own home, having your own hostile environment. Their fans are not easy to play in front of. Trust me, I know. But being able to put all that aside, focus on your catcher, focus on your battery, focus on the pitch that you're delivering, and not trying to be too perfect, but just throw, be free with your pitches.
So Coleman returning to second, Jennings now at first. And Brito settles in, senior from Tustin, California. Started out at Oregon as a freshman in 2021, second team All Pac-12. And as Wong has a hard time finding that one right beneath her feet, both runners advance. They're both in scoring position.
Both of the runners on base got on by walks. Alyssa Brito, she's looking for one pitch, and it has to be pretty dead red. Otherwise, she shouldn't be swinging.
Had a notion. 2-0. Unanimous first team All-America last year. Another 3-0 count. First base is open, but 441 hitting Kenzie Hansen is on deck. Third walk of the inning.
This place is erupting. If you're a fan watching at home, the importance of getting a back-to-back-to-back walk. Yes, there was a ground out in between, but all these base runners, this base is loaded, all of them free passes. If you're on defense, I would love to see somebody call time, get to your pitcher in the circle, help her reset.
But she deals to Hansen. And again, starts behind. 8 homers, 27 runs batted in to go with it. .441 average. At the top of the Big 12. Some ridiculous OPS numbers for both these teams, especially the Sooners. Aycock still searching for the plate, unsuccessfully.
And there's the timeout that you wanted to see from the infield, and it comes from Bloodworth, the shortstop, just talking to her pitcher, just trying to make her laugh, trying to make her feel at ease. It's not the end of the world. Just go at her. Let your defense work. I guess he talks famously about his defense, especially Edwards over at third base. But their ability, they know they're not going to get a ton of strikeouts. Their ability to turn hits into outs. And right now, a ground ball to the left side, that could be an easy double play.
By the way, officially a wild pitch that allowed Coleman and Jennings to move up. High. Aycock, a pitch away from walking in the first run of the game. And finally a strike. Cowgirls thought they were up 1-0 in their top half of the inning. Oklahoma's chance now. Ball 4 bounces in. 1-0 Sooners. Hansen's 28th run batted into the season. On the 4th walk of the inning. And now the DP, Ella Parker, freshman from Los Angeles. Hitting .395 for 44 runs batted in, and 9 have left the yard. First pitch strike, exactly what Aycock has been looking for.
Parker, a freshman who has done phenomenal things. She's one of the top freshmen in the country. A big swing there. That was great movement by Aycock. That's what we've been missing. She gets ahead early, quickly, 0-2. But again, you have bases loaded, to walk in a run. You want to see her get settled a little bit sooner.
The 0-2, way wide.
And how's this for a stat? Ella Parker, that's .571 with bases loaded.
Well, that adds to the challenges for Kyra Aycock. The 1-2. Through all her difficulties, she's one pitch away from a double play to end the inning.
And that's what you want to keep in mind. Your defense is so good. Let them work. Don't try to do it all. Don't try to be the pitcher that has to place everything. Let your defense work. Throw your stuff.
28th pitch of the inning, lofted out to Claire Tim in left, and no tag at third, out number 2. And now up to Alina Torres.
That was a great pitch by Aycock, just being able to get Ella Parker to miss that barrel. She does not miss very often.
First inning is the Sooners' best. Nearly 400. No base hits necessary for this 1-0 lead. 4 walks. A ground out, now a fly out, and here is Torres. At .356 with 8 homers. 30 driven in.
It's that pitch on the outer half that Aycock is really looking to be able to locate. That's where she wants to get ahead. She hasn't quite found it yet. Needs to get a little bit more on the plate.
Lofted to right field for Lexi McDonald. And what a recovery by Kyra Aycock. Walked the bases loaded, walked in a run. Escapes with 2 fly balls.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy innings.
Saturday, 3 Eastern on Fox.
Since you with me now, then biggie bounce. I know you dig the way I switch my style. Holla, holla. People sing around, now people gather round, now people jump around. Get your freak on, get your freak on, get your freak on.
Pete Alonso powers the Mets against the Rays, or the Mariners battle the Astros.
In the Cowgirls half of the first, with an overturned run at the plate. Meanwhile, out in Lubbock series, both these teams are paying very close attention to. Has started out well for Texas Tech, well for both these teams, not well for Texas. The 2 spot in the first for Tech. Davis not able to catch up to Maxwell. Freshman out of Readyville, Tennessee. The 0-2. Out to very shallow right, backing out is Torres.
Good range by Torres, but we've seen a couple of fly balls. Oklahoma State got out of a very precarious first inning. Bases loaded, got 2 fly balls, able to withstand the damage to just 1-0 against Oklahoma. Key today, keep the ball down. Hard hits through the infield into gaps. That is where it's really going to be successful, because both of these defenses are so good at being able to read anything in the air. Their jumps, their hops are just fantastic. They're on a beat.
1-1 to Tim, hitting .331 with 7 home runs. Sophomore from Buena Park, California. He's become a major part of this Cowgirl team. 27 games, just 3 starts as a freshman last year. And hit .276. Improvement of nearly 60 points as a sophomore. 2 balls and a strike. Cowgirls' only Big 12 series loss at Iowa State, 2 of 3. And that series is the reason they're not tied or maybe where Texas is.
Gajewski talked about it. Very uncharacteristic of his team, but a lot of learning lessons. And that's the point. You want to be able to have those lessons early on in season. Do you want to lose 2? No. But if you get it early on in season, you learn some hard lessons whenever you're entering into Bedlam, Big 12 Conference. Postseason, you're ready.
Still 2-2. Tim stays live.
Nasty pitch by Kelly Maxwell. That backdoor, she has been locating it right below these batters' knees. Not just the backdoor, but her curve as well.
In tight, full count. Third 3-ball count to the first 6 hitters Kelly Maxwell has faced. Grad transfer from Friendswood, Texas, pitching to her former teammates in many cases. In the air again to shallow right, and Cassidy Pickering is under it. 2 away. Maxwell with the nation's 3rd best defense behind her. This despite 6 errors in the series at UCF last weekend, 3 in the opener. Very out of character for the OU defense. Committed only a total of 17 errors in their first 46 games until the 6 last weekend. Worked the DP, hitting .283, 8 homers, 24 driven in. Sophomore, Frisco, Texas. Playing despite the fact she's going to need knee surgery whenever they're done playing.
Whenever you see somebody with a knee injury, at least myself having a knee injury my senior year of college, you know that there is a lot of hours put in just to be able to stand in this box. A lot of hours of PT, a lot of hours of making sure that your rest, your nutrition, everything is in order just to be able to play. And also managing it, knowing how much, knowing how hard you can push in practice and get better, but also push too much and you're completely out for the rest of the season. So it's a fine line, a fine balance.
And the mental aspect of not being part of the group, not being able to. Another challenge. In there, 1-2. Work thought about it, realized she was not going to catch up to Maxwell in that zone. Two and two, barely. Lexi McDonald on deck. As we mentioned, this Cowgirl roster on a school record scoring pace, better than 6 runs per game. On pace for a top 5 season in homers and doubles. As that one is stroked up the middle for a base hit.
The famous saying, a flare will always work. Back door, just being able to poke the barrel, barely get a hold of it, but once you get it past Kelly Maxwell, you see a hard swing, and that's what gets it through. Is if she had swung any softer, or if it had been a check swing, wasn't a full swing, I don't think that ball gets down as far out as it did. It might be in range for Torres.
So there are only 2 hits in this game, both by the Cowgirls. Here's the right fielder, McDonald, who goes after the first pitch and pops it into shallow left. Coming on to make the call, Riley Boone. And again, the Cowgirls lead 1.
Is this how you dance on the razor's edge? How you beat the heat? Will this gladiator be the last one standing? Last question. Are you not entertained? Until you do. Duracell is a proud partner.
For just $4.99. Son of a bucket, that's a good deal. New taste of KFC deals. Only at KFC.
Houston Roughnecks, St. Louis Battlehawks. Saturday, 3 Eastern on Fox.
Settle herself down after a 30-pitch first inning.
Your Aycock, good news and bad news. Sanders, she is a little bit of a hot and cold hitter so far this year. Whenever she's hot, she is dangerous. Whenever she's cold, you can go at her. But the downside, the bad news, Sanders, even though she might not be hitting, she gets walked a ton. Whenever she swings hard. With Aycock having as many walks as she has, having a hitter who's patient, already up 2-0. Make that 3-0.
Well, she might offer it that one. Right where Aycock spent most of the first, behind 3-0. Five walks to the first 8 Sooner batters. Thing is, Nicole, the Sooners aren't a team that needs this help. Putting that many free passes on the base paths.
That's been something that teams struggle with. You give them the free passes, eventually they're going to take advantage of it.
Riley Boone, number 9 hitter at 4'11". Senior from Owasso, the only Oklahoman on this roster. All Big 12 tournament, all Women's College World Series last year. Bloodworth only able to get the out at first base. So one gone to the second. Back to the top of the order in Jada Coleman.
This is a really good pitch. On that outer half of the corner, you could see Riley Boone. Sometimes she likes to do a little bit of shuffle. It's not quite a hit, but a little bit of shuffle before she swings. Body's not set, out in front. Easy ground ball to shortstop.
Coleman able to check. She walked on a full count to begin the bottom of the first. And around to score on Hanson's bases loaded walk. This one rolled to Rosie Davis. As Boone able to take second on the second out. And now Cassidy Pickering. Through the first, advanced Coleman on the swinging butt, right side of the infield.
Tell you what I've loved to see from Aycock this inning, though, is yes, she did have the one walk, but immediately being able to bounce back, shake off that first inning, because that was a lot. To have 4 walks, to walk in a run in the first, the clarity of mind to be able to go into the dugout, do whatever you need to do to get back into this game, not psych yourself out, not be so focused and dwelling on that and just moving on.
Do all pitchers want their catchers to try and talk them through their struggles?
Not all.
Right side, diving stop. Davis can't come up with the play. All the way around to score comes Boone, and it's 2-0.
This hit by Pickering was just slow enough, just bouncy enough, but also just out of reach. Davis, she looked like she was going to be on it in no time, and her body was coming up after it, but that was a great read by Riley Boone, because as soon as it flicked off the glove of Davis, you can see Riley Boone doesn't even turn her hips to go back to third. She continues all the way home in Oklahoma. They're up 2-0.
It is ruled a base hit, an RBI for Pickering, her 35th of the year. First hit by the Sooners after 5 walks, one of which went to T.R.A. Jennings in the first.
Two coaches going at each other. Two teams going at each other.
Right back off Aycock, directly to Bloodworth in time to get the force at second base. The Sooners add a run through 2. They lead 2-0 here in Norman.
Found it. The feeling of finding psoriasis can't filter out the real you. So go ahead.
Now, sure.
Earlier, that wasn't the case. Earlier, that is what you would call highlight, a glisten.
A glisten.
I don't even know what I would call it.
A sparkle. Again, Bloodworth, 196 and 4 homers, and then the top of the order, Poulard and Edwards. So we should be fine weather-wise tonight. Tomorrow, 65% chance of rain. Sunday, 78% chance.
Now, weather, especially this time of year, whether you're an OU fan, an Oklahoma State fan, a new fan to softball, you know weather this time in Oklahoma, it is very unpredictable. This past week, a lot of tornadoes struck down, a lot of heavy rainfall. Even more important, you always want to get the first win of the series. But even more important, you want to get the first win of the series when the weather is nice, because you have a rain delay. How does your team respond? It's raining and your pitcher's struggling to throw the ball, to get grip.
Stroke right back to Maxwell. Bloodworth retired to begin the third.
I think both of these teams know the importance of getting that first one and putting it in your pocket.
Back up to the top, and Poulard, who struck out to begin the game. Cowgirls 7 wins against ranked opponents this year.
The biggest thing that I've seen from them is they are tough. They're gritty. Even if they're down late in the game, early in the game, middle, doesn't matter. They fight until the very, very end. That is why they're ranked 4 in the country.
That and winning 2 out of 3 against Texas.
That'll always do it. What a weird little love triangle we have here. Texas 1-2 against Oklahoma. Oklahoma State 1-2 against Texas. This weekend to be determined, but it's a 1-game race between them 3.
Texas trailing early at Texas Tech as that series gets underway. Cowgirls swept Tech 2 weeks ago, swept Kansas last weekend, their 4th sweep in Big 12 play.
Texas Tech is a little sneaky. Oklahoma State had a bit of a scare with them. Came up clutch big time last weekend in their series. But they gave them some trouble. Looks like they're giving Texas some trouble, too.
You wonder why Texas is first nationally. They beat Oklahoma 2 out of 3. Maxwell taking a moment after falling behind 3-1 to Poulard.
I love this at-bat from Poulard. The difference between the first and second one, just a lot more patient, and she draws that walk from Kelly.
Second walk issued by Kelly Maxwell. First was to the next hitter, Tomlin Edwards, who originally was ruled to have scored, and then after a lengthy video review was called out at the plate.
I am so curious. I could watch that over and over again, and I don't know if I could give you a straight up answer. That play was so tight, bang, bang. A great slide by Edwards, a great throw by Jennings, great tag by Hansen.
Which looked really simultaneous.
Everything just happened all at once.
Here's where we wondered, is there anything obvious enough to overturn the call? They decided the answer was yes. 1-1 to Edwards.
The crowd has settled down just a little bit from the first inning.
That one will get away from Hansen, and jogging down to second base is Poulard.
And you can see with the crowd settling down, the energy kind of finding its way. You're not so amped up. It's not the first inning. Oklahoma State has become a lot more patient at the plate. They're not swinging at those close pitches from Maxwell. Maxwell losing a little bit of that edge, that backdoor. We haven't seen that pitch from her. And I think that's why you see Jen Rocha calling time to come and talk to her pitchers. You can see Patty Gasso talking with her infield as well. And if you're Jen Rocha right now, you're just asking, what are you feeling? Where are we trying to go? How can we get this backdoor back on track? It's not a big cause for concern. It's not chaotic. But it's just, hey, I noticed we've seen some decreases in efficiency with that backdoor. How can we make it better? What are you feeling? Can we stay loose? Let's be easy. Get back out there.
As the catcher, are you saying anything when the pitching coach arrives, or is it all hers?
Well, I think in this situation, Kinsey Hansen is just providing feedback when asked. She's there to make Kelly feel relaxed. She's there to make her feel like she's in her groove, in the best focus for herself. And whether it's making her laugh, whether it's asking her what pitch do you want, whether it's telling her something wild that can't be repeated anywhere else, whatever it needs to be to focus her and get her back into her game.
Caroline Wong struck out in the first. Big cut and a miss.
Whatever she said worked.
Boy, it did on strike one. To Wong, who with Liberty last year, ASUN Player of the Year, led their NCAA regional upset at number 2 ranked UCLA. Took the Bruins out of their own regional. Wong leading the way.
Liberty was a force to be reckoned with last year. They were a very, very good team. They actually played Oklahoma early on in February last year and took them all the way to the 7th inning. Oklahoma won just because of an errant pass ball, and that's how they walked it off. But they're a tough team.
0-2 to Wong is wide. Two-time All-America for the Cowgirls. Maxwell last year 16-7, 191 earned run average. 16-1 as a Sooner grad transfer. Ball strike 3. Her only 2 strikeouts are of Caroline Wong. And there are 2 gone in the 3rd.
Whenever you are locked in on a hitter, you have that star thing. But she might have Wong's number, but last time Godwin, I mean, that was a play that changed the momentum. This freshman is, I got the chance to talk with her on a podcast earlier this week, and she is just free and fun-loving. But don't get her wrong. She's an athlete, and this is the play right there.
Well, you can see why live it looks safe. At that real speed. 1-1 to Godwin, who appeared to have doubled in Edwards on that then overruled play. Take 3rd on the throw. And instead of 1-0, runner at 3rd, inning ended. Scoreless. 1-2. Freshman from Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina, Gatorade Player of the Year. Hit .731. 20 homers, stole 31 bags. That's Player of the Year numbers, 2-2.
Definitely one of the better freshmen out there. It's just a mindset. Gajewski talked about whenever he was recruiting her. It's a mindset you can visibly see.
2-2 misses. Runners both move up. Poulard to 3rd, Edwards to 2nd.
Hate read by Poulard. Kinsey Hansen, she was not expecting her to go on that ball. You could see the way that she stood off. A little bit slow, a little bit casual. But great read. As soon as she saw that down in the dirt, she was off.
Godwin able to stay alive at 3-2 with Rosie Davis hoping to get a shot here in the 3rd.
That extra 60 feet means all the world, especially with a hitter like Godwin who can get a single through the infield. You're now looking at a 2-1 game.
And by the way, ruled a pass ball by the reigning Johnny Bench Award winning catcher Kinsey Hansen to get the tying runs in scoring position. Again, 3-2. That is fair and headed to the corner, and we are tied. Godwin in with a 2-run double.
Hardly Godwin. That right there, I mean, clutch. We talked about going up into this at bat, her mindset and the way that she loves this pressure. And this is a backdoor. She goes after it. She's out in front. But the way she's able to extend her barrel through, gets it deep into left field, past Riley Boone. I mean, she's been a magnet over there. Scores 2 easily. And again, you think of that 60 feet whenever those runners advance, that scores 2 runs. If you don't have that, maybe you score 1. I don't know about 2. Base running, being able to have a tough battle at the plate. Oklahoma State, they are a tough, scrappy team.
Back to Maxwell to end the inning. But the Cowgirls pull even on the 2-run double by Carly Godwin.
If lawn care were easy, everyone would for a greener, healthier lawn, guaranteed. It's time to trust your experts at True Green. Go.
The same Duracell batteries that help power Williams Racing. Until you do.
Saturday 3 Eastern on Fox. Major League Baseball, Saturday at 7 Eastern on...
What did you get from her coming into this Bedlam series?
The sense that she was going to go off and she was going to be a key player, somebody who makes big-time plays. And we've seen it. Her 2 at-bats that she has been up, she has delivered. One of them didn't get the run. The other one scored 2.
She's the reason we are tied at 2, and it's 2-0 to Alyssa Brito. Walked on 4 pitches in the first. One of the 4 issued by Kyra Aycock.
What Aycock has done so well after settling in, especially last inning, just getting Oklahoma to have those oopsie swings. That one that Alyssa Brito just had, you could tell she didn't really want to swing at that, but she couldn't hold her barrel back. That is what she's been doing. Holy cow, look at that bubble that Kenny Gajewski just blew.
That's a Bedlam Series bubble right there.
I wonder.
Save the best for last.
How many pieces of gum do you think he had? That was a pretty big bubble.
Maybe a full pack.
Come on, Kenny, give us another one.
That's a sizable one. The 3-1 is low. That is walk number 6 issued by Kyra Aycock. One and a half times through the Sooner order. Texas striking back after trailing 2-0 early. And now Hansen drove in that first run, the bases loaded walk.
This weekend, this series in particular is so important for Big 12 standings, but also it determines where they are seated for the Big 12 tournament. But 3 of these teams, you have Oklahoma, you have Oklahoma State, and you have Texas, they are well placed for postseason. All of them, if they go on to have success, they will host the Supers, and ultimately the goal is to get back to the World Series, which for these 2 is right in their backyard.
That is hit hard, and racing in to make the grab is Lexi McDonald. First out of the 3rd. This is a beauty.
That was a great snag by McDonald. Just having the confidence of leaving her feet, knowing that her center fielder is behind her, being able to back her up, because even if that drops, you have the momentum of the hit. You have the runners on second base.
Down to one knee. Pop back up in case there was a throw necessary. Ella Parker bounces the first pitch off Bloodworth, and everybody's safe.
Bloodworth, usually so consistent over there in shortstop. That one just took a funny hop, bounced up on her, not able to make the play at second, and Ella Parker, sneaky fast, no play at first either.
Now Torres. He flied to right with the bases loaded to end the first.
You can see Torres, her body angled off. It looks like she wants to hit to that right center alleyway. That front foot closed off a little bit in front of her back.
Throw back behind the runner at second, Brito, but no chance to advance. Caroline Wong decided to take a shot.
That was smart. She almost got her on that one. Looked like Davis was just a step late on that. Brito and Davis kind of collided there too.
Way up 2-1 to Torres with Sanders in the on-deck circle.
As she falls, you can see Brito trying to get up, Davis trying to get out of her way.
Slightly lower throw. Maybe she is right there for the tag. 3 balls in the strike. Aycock, sophomore, Noonan, Georgia, 6'1". Powerful presence out there in the circle. But behind it, another count. Leaping grab. No double play. Brito barely able to dive back to the bag.
There's been 2 instances where there's been hard hits. I don't know. She might have gotten her. I think
Boy,
she did.
Again.
If I'm Kenny Gajewski,
I'm absolutely wanting another look at that one.
and you can see him talking with the umpire on the field, or we can see him talking with the umpire on the field. And I think he's asking why she was called safe. Maybe did you feel this way or that way as an umpire? But for him, absolutely.
Another look. Best angle yet.
Yeah, she's out.
If they overturn that play in the first at the plate, they have got to overturn this one.
Absolutely, and that gets you out of a big inning. Again, Sid Sanders, she's up to box. She's up to bat right now, up to box. She's up to bat right now, and yeah, they're going to review it. I think that's the right call. Sid Sanders draws a lot of walks. Riley Boone is so good at turning over the lineup for Oklahoma, and then you have to face the top of the lineup. That's not a situation that you want to be in. You want to get out of this inning.
Couple more angles here. Bang, bang. But again, it looks like the foot is slightly ahead of the hand of Alyssa Brito. Best angle right here. Again, it looks like the foot beats the hand. Especially when you rewind it like that.
Yeah, and I think also whenever making this call from this side angle, from almost like a bird's eye view of from first base, you can see that play very obviously, but the angle that the umpire was at just a little bit off to the side, it might have been hard. The body from Davis might have been blocking Brito. It might have been hard to see because it was, like you said, so bang bang.
Even at real speed, it looks like an out at second base.
Yeah, you can see from that angle, she just not the best view. The play was so quick, so bang bang. But hey, you love to see the Cowgirls right now, just having some fun.
Interesting to hear Kenny Gajewski talk about how he built this Oklahoma State program. He inherited a 3-13 Big 12 record. And now in his 9th year, 358 wins. NCAAs every year for World Series, including the last 3. Final ranking in the top 6 for the last 5 seasons, not counting the COVID year 2020. But said he's done it not trying to be Patty Gasso, trying to build his own way.
And that's, I think, the best way that you can go about it. As a coach, you're trying to, yes, there's things that you can learn from other coaches, but if you're trying to be somebody else, I feel like especially in this day and age with these players that are just so in tune, they can feel when somebody's genuine and when they're not. And for him, he was saying, hey, I'm an emotional guy. And anybody who's ever met Kenny Gajewski, they know. And he's not ashamed, not trying to hide it, but he goes, if I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry, but I'm also going to ask a lot out of you. I'm going to be tough on you. I'm going to give you some tough love. And saying, being able to embrace that and fully coach that way freed him up a lot as well. And I think that's the cool thing. There's no one right way to win.
Review complete. Out is the call at second base. Heading over. Still 2-2 in Norman.
Daily TD treatment for adults.
On to the fourth. Still 2-10 will lead off the Cowgirls' fourth inning. She flied to right in the second. And rolls the first pitch to Torres. Kelly Maxwell happy with that. 61 pitches in now.
You and I were talking over the break that both of those plays in the first inning, the tag at home, the one that we just saw this past half inning, the double play over at second base, it's bedlam. Of course those plays are going to be made. Of course it's going to be bang, bang. Of course we're going to have to go for video review. But that is what these two teams bring out with one another. That is what bedlam is all about. It's a competition. You see two great teams just going at each other.
Maxwell wanted that strike at the knees. Mike Burwell said it was low. This one was back out of play, 1-1. Michaela Ward, one of 7 Texans on the Cowgirl roster. Started out at Kansas. Did not play in 2022, injured. So he took a redshirt year before transferring. That just misses wide, 2-1.
Maxwell just nibbling around that corner this at bat. That back door just so effective for her.
2-2. Kelly Maxwell, 5 career no-hitters for the Cowgirls and Sooners, including March 12th against Tarleton State. Marred only by a 2-out error in the first. Through 61 pitches, 45 for strikes in that one. This will be pitch number 66. And Work drives it to deep center field and out of here. And the Cowgirls greet her at the plate, leading 3-2. Number 9 for Michaela Ward.
We talked her last at bat about how mentally you have to be so checked in. There are so many things you have to do just to be able to be in the game. And then this, it shows why she is in this lineup. This one elevated outside half, and she knew that that was gone. That ball was absolutely smashed dead center. I mean, look how
way up for sure. 9th home run issued this year by Maxwell.
Check out that mullet. Oklahoma State fans up and loud.
Lexi McDonald flagged to left, and the only pitch she saw to end the second. Sophomore, Silo, Oklahoma, where she helped them win 2 Class 2A state titles, hitting .547. .333 this year. And an easy bouncer for Torres, who has handled both the outs here in the 4th.
That wasn't necessarily a bad pitch by Kelly Maxwell. It was elevated, it was up, and I could just see her say, I don't know, I just swung. Sometimes whenever the ball is left elevated on the outer half of the corner, you just have to poke your barrel out. Keep the barrel flat, and if you make contact, it just goes.
That one had to be at least 250 feet.
That one was a shot.
And now Bloodworth, who bounced back to the mound to lead off the 3rd. Kayeski says she is a productive 196 hitter. Defensive specialist out of Cordial, Georgia.
And even with her batting 196, he was saying she has the potential to do so much more. It's more so a confidence game, being able to find that again. But even with the confidence low, she has a lot of sac flies, a lot of sac bunts. She's able to move her runners around, move her offense, create something. And I think that's what's keeping her in the lineup, and that's what's keeping her in the game mentally checked in.
Started out at Alabama, where she hit a grand slam on her first collegiate at bat, and then homered again later against Southern Utah. Back out of play. And
Hello,
1 and 2.
college.
This isn't so hard. You remember your first collegiate at bat?
I do.
Grand slam?
Pop fly to left field.
Oh.
Foul. I was out. Coach Gasso said, "Why'd you swing so early?" I said, "I don't know. It looked good."
I was excited. I'm playing college softball.
He's a little uneventful.
1-2. Little looper right to Jennings. But the Cowgirls behind the power of Michaela Work lead it 3-2. Games, 6 shutouts, 109 strikeouts, 25 walks in over 132 innings. Opponents hitting just 173 against Kilfoyle.
I mean, that says it all. It's reading the stat line. She feels not only very efficient, but very suffocating. Quick innings, quick outs.
First pitch to Sydney Sanders. A little bit low. She walked on 4 pitches, leading off the second. And then erased on a fielder's choice. That one is in there for Kilfoyle, who had, in that Texas series in late March, 2 complete game shutouts. National Pitcher of the Week. Texas had not been shut out all year. They had at least 6 hits in every game. She 2 hit them in that series finale. Popped off the fist, and a diving grab by Caroline Wong for the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
That is what you dream for as a catcher. After practice, coach tosses up a ball, you run, you go and dive it. But how many times do you get that in the game? What a catch by Wong. That was a great job by Kilfoyle, guiding her, letting her know where that ball was, but full extension. And then the hand in the glove, just to make sure it doesn't slide out. Gotta have security measures there.
Riley Boone running up, showing bunt. She scored in the second after reaching on that fielder's choice, and at that time, Sooners led 2-0.
Kilfoyle, she's going to work down in the zone. Her pace of play is a lot quicker as well. Even if she takes more time to get on the mound, her pace whenever she throws a ball in between pitches, she's quick. And so Sooners are going to have to adjust to that as well.
Kilfoyle, Alabama transfer 2 years ago.
Something about transfer pitchers for Oklahoma State, man, do they know how to develop. It's a good 2-2 pitch. I mean, that one just misses, but what a spot. (19-3) at the top of the Big 12. Little flare, this time handled by Colin Edwards. No good contact in their first go-round against Lexi Kilfoyle. This is her 5th relief appearances. You see Riley Boone talking to Kilfoyle, telling Jada Coleman down, down, down. With the transition of Aycock to Kilfoyle, it's more of that screwball to now drop ball. You're going to have to change the angle of your barrel, almost sink, pop it up. You're going to have to think something extreme to get your barrel on plane.
12th relief appearances for Kilfoyle, who's made 18 starts, 14 of which have been completed. Coleman, first of 4 walks in the first inning to make it 1-0. Rounded to second in the second.
Oh yeah, did I mention her off speed? That off speed, so dirty. So you're having to struggle with the quickness, not only of her pitch, but her pace. And then all of a sudden, no change in body, no change in pace, but that ball just floats in.
And the evidence is how difficult it is for these first Oklahoma pitchers to time her, get any kind of decent swing.
You could see a little bit of, I don't want to say confusion or frustration, but just a second of wondering, okay, where was I on that from Jada Coleman after that foul ball?
That is slashed down the line and fouled. And still 1-2. Patty Gasso, 7 national titles, including the last 3. Two.
Good battle here by Coleman. Kilfoyle got ahead early. She is throwing tough pitches, competitive pitches. What that means is if you're a hitter and you're looking, that's a tough one to take. You have to have a really disciplined eye to be able to take that to get to 2-2.
Coleman works the count full. Aycock in her 3 innings, 2 runs allowed, only 1 base hit, did not strike out a batter, walked 6. Remarkable that she left with the lead. Another walk for Jada Coleman with 2 outs here in the 4th to bring up Cassidy Pickering.
Talking again about her eye and her discipline. You're not going to see a ton of walks out of Kilfoyle. Jada Coleman definitely earned that one.
26 walks now in almost 133 innings. Way up high to Pickering. She was grounded out and then singled in the tying run. For the second run for Oklahoma. Back in the 2nd inning. High again, 2-0.
One thing that you can really see in between pitches is this infield for Oklahoma State. Just quick chatters. Hey, we're here. Hey, I got you.
That's in there to the freshman from Humble, Texas, who I guess it says to not act like a freshman at all. Very eager to learn from all the upperclassmen.
Her and Ella Parker, who's coming up to bat later in this lineup, both of them finalists for Freshman of the Year. And Kilfoyle herself, a finalist for Player of the Year, one of the top 26.
Way out of play, runs the count full.
I think that fan bare hands caught that. Everyone always asks, hey, aren't you not scared of the foul balls? I would run away screaming in terror. If I don't have a glove, don't ask me to go anywhere near it.
Standing room only tonight at Love's Field. The 3-2. Headed to the wall. Claire Tim on the track is there. So the Sooners unable to tie it here in the 4th.
Stafford's coming home.
This is a heavyweight matchup.
Breaks a tackle, he's gone. There. Yeah.
There's games in other countries.
The whole world watches. Let's go.
$4.99. Son of a bucket, that's a good deal. New taste of KFC at KFC.
Houston Roughnecks, St. Louis Battlehawks. Saturday, 3 East.
On Fox, the United Football League takes center stage as the Houston Roughnecks battle A.J. McCarron.
Really low hundreds. ERA at 1. Deal similar in the style of the lefty from Maxwell. Has a good backdoor, has a good curveball, but you're going to see a little bit more up in the zone as well. That one misses high, but you're going to see more up in the zone from Deal. And I think that is where we saw Oklahoma State struggle early on. Kelly Maxwell went up a couple times. We saw some foul balls, just the discipline on holding off on that pitch.
Well hit to right field and gone, and it's 4-2 Cowgirls.
No struggle there. Oklahoma State clearly had a plan, and that one launched. Look at that celebration. I mean, talk about clutch, talk about starting off an inning. Lead off, first batter, you just rip one, not anywhere, but to your fans out in right field. This one elevated. You can see it was quick to contact, long through extension. Poulard setting off this inning in a hurry, setting it off with a tone. Oklahoma, they're trailing now by 2. Oklahoma State with all of the momentum in the top half of their lineup.
Number 7 for Poulard. For Deal, only the 5th home run she has allowed all year. But from down 2-0, Cowgirls up 4-2 here in the 5th. Talent Edwards has walked both times. In the 3rd, she scored the tying run. In the Gajewski era, Cowgirls are 2-23 against the Sooners. One of the wins a couple of years ago, the Big 12 championship. That one bouncing in 3 balls and a strike. But in position now. Coming from behind, chasing Kelly Maxwell.
We've talked about it all game. This Oklahoma State team, they are a team that is young, but they know how to fight and they know how to get those runs across. They know when to, all right, let's jack one. They know when to be patient and earn that walk. And that right now has been all the difference between Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. Oklahoma earlier this game, they had bases loaded, not off of a hit, off of pure walks, and they left it with only 1 run that came across. Almost every single time Oklahoma State has had runners on, they've been able to convert.
So, rare position for Patty Gasso. Going to come from behind here at home. Caroline Wong has struck out both of her appearances. 2 of the 3 rung up by Maxwell. Wong from a sports family. Her father, John Hudson, 10 years in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Mother Jenny, a gymnast at Auburn. I'm not done. Grandfather.
But wait, there's more.
Grandfather, Richard, played 6 years in the old AFL, the Chargers and the Bills. And Gajewski says she really came into her own after Christmas. Coming off an arm injury. Throwing out base stealer as well. But her offensive game seemed to all come together.
Sometimes all it takes is being able to have that break, winter break, about a month long, go home, see family, refresh, and learn how to miss softball. I think sometimes athletes, especially at this level, get so caught up in the game that they don't really miss it. They don't really love it. And so having time away from it.
Popped off the fists, and an easy play for Hansen. For the first out here in the 5th. In the 3rd inning, Carly Godwin ripped it into the corner. Poulard and Edwards came home, and it was a brand new 2-2 game.
I don't even know if I could call that the hit that started it all, because back in the first, she had a double, turned into a triple, but play at the plate, ended the inning, but that was it. She brings that momentum. She brings that energy. And if you're Oklahoma, you're going, I don't want her to come back up. Not with the speed of Edwards over on first.
But it is a tight strike zone for Mike Burwell tonight.
It is, and it does favor the hitters, but I will say this. It is consistent. And that is the most important thing, I think, as a pitcher, whenever you're searching for the zone. If you don't know where it's at, that can be way more frustrating. It can get you out of your head a lot easier. If you know where the zone's at, you can work from there.
Well, but all 4 pitchers we've seen having to come well into the zone to get a call strike. Not many on the corners. That one's in there, and it's 2-2.
Talk about well into the zone. Yes, that was a curveball, maybe middle in, but the location, the height of that pitch, again, right underneath the knee.
Right center, carrying pretty well, and gone. The Cowgirls go deep again to add to the lead in Norman.
Have a day, Carly Godwin. Oh my gosh. The freshman, clutch. She wants it all. Give her Bedlam. And I think for Oklahoma State, the only thing better than the roar of the crowd is how quiet Love Stadium has become. This one, we talked about the location. This is a backdoor, maybe mid-shin. She is able to go and get that pitch so well. We saw that with the double this time. Able to keep that barrel on it all the way through, get that full extension. Goes out to right center. Man, clutch.
Just kept carrying.
He did. And this wind, not super strong, so that just tells you that was all her. That was power.
Now low to Rosie Davis, who was 0 for 2. Deal had allowed 4 home runs in 63 innings in her first 18 outings this year. She has allowed 2 to 4 batters here in the 5th. And she will get a visit from Jennifer Rocha.
And I think it's a credit to Oklahoma State. Deal has become the pitcher of the year the past 2 weeks. A little bit more consistency we've seen from her the past month. Oklahoma State, they know that she's coming. If it's not today, they know they're going to see her at some point. But for them to be able to see Kelly Maxwell and Deal in the same game, and they still have 2 more to go, that is huge.
Because they know they're going to see him again.
It's a long series to go, and we're still in the 5th. A couple more innings to go, but right now, Oklahoma State, they look just confident, and they look like they are completely in control.
And does not look like Texas Tech is going to provide either of these 2 teams here any help tonight, despite their very early 2-0 lead. First ball hitting, Rosie Davis out to Coleman for the second out. And now clear Tim. Also 0 for 2. Cowgirls have taken the energy out of Love's Field right now. For anyone not wearing orange, at least.
There was an Oklahoma State fan on one of the home runs. Had the longest mullet that I think I've ever seen, and
including Mike Gundy?
He was hyped up. I think it might have been longer than Mike Gundy's.
Wow. Talking galactic mullets. Squeeze through that one. Well, there it is.
There it is. There's the mullet.
I don't think Mike Gundy has ever gone quite that radical.
I need to ask him his curly hair routine, though.
Reach for that one, 1 and 2. Kieski says, Tim, Off to a great start this year. Slumped for about 40 at-bats. Fixed herself. Now going well. Back out of play.
He's going to fan there.
Cowgirls 42-8, 19-5 in the Big 12. Third place, fourth nationally. Leading three-time defending national champion 6-2 in the fifth. First game of the final Bedlam series as conference rivals. They have announced they will continue to play though.
And it's so good for the sport. I mean, as a fan, I want them to continue to play. Look at this game that we've been able to watch so far. It has been entertaining, action-packed, clutch.
Toward the gap, diving Coleman cannot come up with it, and it's a double for Claire Tim. And the Cowgirls continue to deal Kirsten Deal misery here in the fifth out of the bullpen.
They have prepared for her very, very well. And again, we talked about the power that we saw in pregame Oklahoma State. That is being showcased right now.
This is a visit Patty Gasso could not have anticipated when she made this change.
I think she was going to get out of there a little bit sooner. We'll see Carly Keeney come into the circle. But the similarities between Kelly Maxwell and Kirsten Deal, both lefties, predominantly with the curve. Maxwell, she has a change, and Deal, she'll go up in the zone. But just today, Oklahoma State, they were ready for that.
So Kirsten Deal, Big 12 pitcher of the week, last 2 weeks. Surrenders 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning, 2 homers and a double.
Carly Keeney, the grad transfer, we talked about Caroline Wong, but this is her other counterpart at Liberty before they both transferred. Had an injury day 1 of practice, broke her finger, was out the entire fall, and came back just, I think, about 2 weeks before season started. So she's been playing catch up all season long, but just a lot of confidence. Really good spin with a tight screwball, able to go screw rise, tunnels those two very well.
From Providence, Kentucky, grad transfer. Twice named the ASUN Scholar Athlete of the Year. Last year, 5th nationally, 27 wins against 12 losses, a 203 earned run average. 2nd in the country, 240 in the 3rd innings pitched, 27 complete games, 5 shutouts, a couple of saves, and 4 wins against top 25 opponents as a Liberty Flame. She is the 3rd pitcher of the night. Kelly Maxwell started 4 innings, 3 runs on 4 hits, struck out 3, walked 3. Deal in her 2/3 has surrendered 3 and responsible for Claire Tim out at second base with 2 outs as Michaela Wark, who was singled, and homer goes right after the first pitch.
Biggest thing that Carly Keeney has struggled with is just leaving those pitches too much on the plate. And with the way that the Cowgirls have been swinging tonight, that's the last thing that you want to do. So being able to have tight corners, going after and letting your spin take over.
Popped up, shallow left for Riley Boone. But 3 more on the board on 2 Cowgirl blasts. It is 6-2.
Making melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Antonio, D.C. Touchdown! The United Football League begins Sunday at 1 Eastern on Fox. Pete Alonso powers the Mets.
3 more bats for Patty Gasso's group. She was talking this week to us about in conference play. This year, 45-4 and 21-3 in the league. And Oklahoma fans think the sky is falling.
It's tough because of what Oklahoma has done the past 3 years and how dominant they have been offensively with their wins, with their pitching. This year, it's a little bit different. I think for them, as fans, remembering that these athletes are humans. And yes, they do want to win. They don't like losing. They are doing their best. But also just managing the expectation of there's other teams who have seen Oklahoma perform the past 3 years at this high level. They have been so far above and beyond. The teams around the country have been racking their brains trying to say, how can we get closer? And they have. You've seen the response around the country, not just in the Big 12.
Guilfoyle behind Tiare Jennings, 3-0. She's walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. 18 home runs, 55 driven in. One of the all-time great power hitters in college softball. It's a high strike, 3-1.
Just the consistency that Jennings has displayed year after year after year. And she's chasing Jocelyn Outlaw now.
3-2. You mean the Savannah Bananas? Jocelyn Allo, that Jocelyn Allo?
Absolutely. Jossie and I actually live in the same city, and we train together for summer season. So for the past month, we've been hitting off of baseballs.
How do you think she'll do there?
Well, I asked her the same thing. I said, hey, how do you think you're going to do? And she goes, you know what? I want them to put me in, and I want to get a hit. I want them to know I'm not just here to look pretty. And she goes, but don't get me wrong, I'm going to look pretty. And I think that's Jossie in a nutshell. But yeah, she loves it.
Another 3-2. Off speed, got her looking.
What a pitch. Tiare Jennings not expecting that off-speed. Guilfoyle, the location on this. A lot of times you'll see changeups that have a hump in the middle. This one stays flat, drops off just a little at the end. But that low and out. I mean, just look at this. Pulls the string. Wong didn't even have to move her glove. Talk about spotting.
Rito has walked both times. Started the day at 417, 16 home runs, 50 driven in. Phenomenal defense at third, clutch in big moments at the plate. And a ball and a strike. Patty Gasso's run at Oklahoma really makes you compare other runs in other sports. It's hard to find a similar
they put up
decade
numbers
in softball. Well, you can look at what Nick Saban did at Alabama, and then I think you have to look at basketball, what John Wooden did in men's basketball at UCLA, what Pat Summitt did at Tennessee, what Gino Auriemma did in his incredible run at UConn. That's the level of conversation with Patty Gasso.
Lexi Guilfoyle has been finding that low and away pitch.
These are the numbers. 16 World Series, 15 conference championships, 7 national championships, 3rd in career wins. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lexi Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle just hammering that outside, pulls the string yet again. This is the reason why she's one of the top players in the country, one of the top pitchers in the country. It's just the deception. You can't tell when from her body, she doesn't give it away when she's throwing her changeup, when she's throwing her drop ball. Out of the hand, the release looks very, very similar.
Kinsey Hansen drove in the first round on a bases loaded walk in the first. Line to right in the third. Patty Gasso also talking about how she tries as best she can to let her players have some perspective on both the positive and the negative. She says, we let the fans in, but we're also realistic. The last 10 years have been extremely unusual. To sustain that is hard to even comprehend. But we're all comprehending it because they're going for a 4th straight national title. So she says, yeah, we're not perfect, but we don't have to apologize for mistakes because we are human.
Yeah, and I think also this year, just the competition playing field around the country is so high. Careful, going in on the knees of Hansen, just missing. Back to back.
Not a dugout that's used to this. Down 4, running out of outs. Popped up into shallow right center, and Lexi McDonald able to come in and make the play at a 1-2-3 fifth.
Saturday at 7 Eastern on.
Now currently sitting in 3rd place. A lot of shifting that can happen if they take this game 1.
Carly Keeney came on to finish the 5th inning as she starts Lexi McDonald with a strike. McDonald, who began the game in right field and now has switched places with Claire Tim. Tim in right, McDonald in left. And on the last pitching change, 1-1. Then Bloodworth and Poulard at the top of the order. When it gets to the late innings, that's when Oklahoma State is at their best. From the 7th on, 19-7, they have outscored their opponents.
Woo.
So you need to get the Cowgirls early. Looked like the Sooners were in the process of doing that. Single runs in each of the first 2. Cowgirls tied it with 2 in the 3rd. But they have run together 6 unanswered.
Oklahoma, they know how to be tough. They know how to be great. They haven't had to be gritty too often this year. I feel like Oklahoma State has been in a position where they've had to be very, very gritty. They've had to come from behind. You've seen those big time wins. The share of this isn't just a single person's win. Everybody picks up the bat. Everybody helps out in some way. That is why they're so tough. That's why they're so good in the late innings. Don't get me wrong. Oklahoma, 1 inning, they can score in a blink of an eye, in a hurry, and they can score a lot of runs. So this game is truly not over until it's over. So Oklahoma State, yes, they have a 4-run lead, but never hurts to continue to capitalize on that.
But what's delicious is they've got to do it against Lexi Kilfoyle now. Right back to Keeney. One gone in the 6th. McDonald is 0 for 3.
Look what I have here. Straight back to Keeney. Ice cold. Look at that. You catch that line drive. Just give a little bit of nod to Tiara Jennings over at short. I don't know. I think my face would have had a little bit more reaction than that.
Aren't you supposed to act like there's nothing to it? Katie Lott now making her way to the batter's box to hit for Megan Bloodworth, who was 0 for 2. Katie hitting .245. With some power, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in.
She's been called upon to pinch hit quite a bit. It's a hard place to live in as a pinch hitter because you don't know when you're coming in. You don't know what the pitcher has been throwing. You don't have that luxury of having multiple at-bats. So you really have to rely on what you see and then talking to your teammates, and then mentally, how do you stay checked in for 7 innings the entire time?
That one misses high, 2-1. Top of the order, Poulard next. She has walked and homered. Scored twice. Then Edwards, who has scored twice on walks. This one will send Boone back to the wall for a reaching grab. Out number 2, robbing the pinch hitter lot.
Great snag by Riley Boone. Look at the way she continues to track it in the timing. As soon as her feet touch that warning track, she knows, all right, I have to jump back. I'm going to be able to hit this wall, hang on to this ball, keep it in my glove. But Katie Lott, what a swing. That is 2 back-to-back. You had the line drive, and then you had that ball to the wall. 2 back-to-back hard hits off of Carly Keeney.
Back up to the top of the order, and Jillian Poulard, the grad transfer from the state out of Moss Bluff, Louisiana.
Your Oklahoma State conversation right now is we're on her. Continue to live in this world. Continue to do what we're doing.
Boy, another call by Burwell that the pitcher had a right to expect a strike on, I think, 2-0.
We talked about how tight his zone has been, and it's tough, especially for a pitcher like Keeney, who lives mostly on the outside. You want to get that inside pitch called for a strike, especially whenever it looks that good.
Has been consistent. That's in there. 2-1. In addition to Poulard's softball exploits, she somehow has time to develop a clothing line. Her post-playing career should be interesting. In there, and the count evens.
It's a pretty cool thing about what NIL has allowed these athletes to do. Yes, not just make money on their name, image, and likeness, but be able to go out and express themselves in ways that are outside of their sport.
The 2-2. Where did that one miss? Carly Keeney would really like to know.
Sure is. The rest of the country, this one
inside,
just a little inside. You can see Kinsey Hansen doing a great job bringing it in. Not a lot of movement from her glove, but I would guess inside.
Keeney has retired the first 3 batters. 2 flies to left, and the shot right back to her. Now trying to take care of a 1-2-3 Cowgirls 6th.
And that's just what Oklahoma needs right now. They haven't had a 1-2-3 yet this game. Shortest inning that they've had was the first, with 4 batters faced.
Counter swinging, 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th for Oklahoma State.
AFC. Houston Roughnecks, St. Louis Battlehawks. Saturday, 3 Eastern on Fox.
A part of this Bedlam series because I don't remember fondly, but I do remember a bit better view on how well this field drains.
Ella Parker goes after the first pitch, rolls it to short. Woodworth back in there after being pinch hit.
As we're in the bottom of the 6th, I can't help to reflect back to the first inning. Oklahoma, they've left 6 base runners on base, but that first inning, half of their base runners were in that first inning with only 1 out. Got a couple of walks. You got 4 walks, got their first run walked in, and after that, they started to chase after balls from Aycock. Instead of being disciplined, letting the balls come to them. swinging at the strikes, and then they got themselves out of an inning, and then now in comes Kilfoyle, who she doesn't give up a lot. They're in a tough position.
In there, 1-1 to Torres, who was fly to right, lined into a double play.
But again, you go back to the mindset that Oklahoma has created and cultivated over the past 3 years. You don't win back-to-back-to-back by accident. That mindset is trained, it's sharpened, it's practiced day in and day out. The Sooners, they are used to playing with a target on their back. They're used to playing against everybody's very best, and they are getting the very best out of Oklahoma State tonight.
From down to nothing. By the way, Macy Graff now out in right field for the Cowgirls. As Kilfoyle misses wide.
There's that pitch that you and I have both talked about. Man, that looks so good. Where is that missing? That has not been a strike all game long. It's not because we're getting into the tail end of the game. The strike zone behind the plate has been consistent.
Tight.
A little tight, but consistent.
Torres stays alive. Sydney Sanders on deck.
Kilfoyle, whenever she's throwing, just that off speed. You can't tell a lot of difference from her body, from her angle, from her hands.
Big key in what makes her so difficult to hit. Rolls it past a diving Rosie Davis into the gap. Bobbled just long enough for her to take second. As the Sooners hope that begins a rally.
Torres, as soon as she sees that moment right there where she took that double glance to second, that was a moment that she saw, okay, this went past. And whenever Poulard, she went down to slide to take that ball, that is when Alina Torres decided, okay, she's going to have to get up. She's going to have to throw across her body, being a righty, and deep in that right center gap. She's going to have to turn across her body, make a great throw. She went for it. And, I mean, again, talk about that mindset. Talk about that mentality. Alina Torres, great base running, great battle at the plate to get there.
That double, only the second base hit by Oklahoma tonight. Sydney Sanders with the leadoff walk in the second, a race on the fielder's choice. First batter Kilfoyle faced in the fourth and got it to foul out to the catcher. Floats that one high, and it's 2-0. 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Cowgirls. 2 runs now on 2 hits for the Sooners. Cowgirl starter Kyra Aycock walks 6. Only allowed the 1 hit, 2 runs in 3 innings. It was the RBI infield single as it was ruled in the second inning, which tied the game. By Pickering. Checks her swing, went around 2-2.
Sanders looking a little hesitant to swing. That pitch before, down the middle, tight from Kilfoyle, uncharacteristic of her. Took it, that one, same thing. A little bit of a check swing from Sanders, having a battle here.
Guesso said she did a good job coming over from years ago from Arizona State, where she was first-team All-America as a freshman and set the Sun Devils single-season home run record with 21. But she says she came here to learn a little bit of a new hitting system. Did so magnificently. 3-2, foul territory, bobbled and dropped by Talon Edwards.
And Edwards had a ton of room. I think she thought she was closer to the fence than originally, and that ball just drops. She overruns it, drops out of her glove. That is a huge, huge blunder on her part, because now this crowd, Sid Sanders, another chance. And even there, that foul ball, harmless, but the way she hit it, a lot harder, the crowd reacting. You could feel some energy surge out of Oklahoma's dugout as soon as Talon Edwards dropped that ball.
Boy, absolutely. Gives hitter like Sydney Sanders another chance. Second Cowgirl error of the game. Guilfoyle's got to keep working at 3-2. But might have been ball 4.
2 back-to-back battles. Lena Torres battled, got that double. Right now, Sid Sanders working that 3-2 count. Haven't seen an off-speed from Guilfoyle in a minute. I think she'll throw it here.
It's worked before, not here. 2 on with 1 out. Instead of 1 on and 2 out for the number 9 hitter.
Patty Gasso talked about Sid Sanders and her ability to get on base with walks. She goes, those are just as good as singles off the wall. The crowd, the way they erupted, the way that the dugout responds, all you want to do, especially this late in the game, innings 6 and 7, these are championship games. You want to get the energy. And Carrie Eberle, she's telling Lexi Guilfoyle, go after these hitters. You have them. Don't let them chirp at you. Go at them. Attack. Carrie Eberle herself, no stranger to being in Bedlam. She was a pitcher transfer as well. Came to Oklahoma State. Very successful in her own right. Great pitching coach. You've seen what she's done so far with her pitchers this year.
Maya Bland is pinch running at first for Sanders. Torres at second with 1 out for Riley Boone. Reached on a fielder's choice, scored the second Oklahoma run back in the 2nd inning. Last time up, popped to 3rd. Guilfoyle gets her first ball hitting, popping to Davis at 2nd for a gigantic out number 2.
First pitch swinging on that inner half. Added a little bit of speed, and Riley Boone, she just wasn't able to get her barrel out in front. How's that for a response? Carrie Eberle comes out and says, go at them, attack, do not give them any inch, because they will bust the door wide open.
Jada Coleman has walked twice and grounded to 2nd. Looks at a strike on the outside edge. The senior from the Colony, Texas, reigning Big 12 Player of the Year.
And this is what this series is all about. Late night, under the lights, 6th inning. Oklahoma State, they're up by 4, but you can feel the tension. You can feel the pressure in this inning right here.
0-2. Long throw. Dug out. Here comes the runner home. Safe. 6-3.
Bedlam right there. Jada Coleman stretching, trying to get herself over to first. And Avery Hodge, as soon as she sees that ball dropped out of the glove of Godwin, she is gone immediately. What we just talked about, feeling the pressure of the moment, the big time. You can see that a little bit in the rush. They know the speed of Jada Coleman, but the rush from the defense from Bloodworth.
That is ruled an error on the drop at first by Godwin, a converted third baseman herself, who has been terrific defensively at first base this year. But it's 6-3. Tying run at the plate in Pickering.
Pickering, her last at bat, had a ball that went, I mean, just about as deep as you could go. We thought we might see either a home run or a home run getting robbed, but it was right at the warning track, right at the fence.
Extra at-bats because of the dropped foul pop to third by Edwards. And that a little bit low.
Jada Coleman toying over there at first base, making Wong come out. There's back to Kilfoyle. Nobody moves. But the last thing you want to have to be focusing about is Jada Coleman here.
Left field. Right on the line for McDonald. Kilfoyle escapes, still leading by 3 as we head to the 7th in Norman.
In front of you. Watching that always takes me to my happy place. Wait a minute. Jersey.
By Bloodworth, not the play at first by Godwin. E6 instead of E3. First ball down to the line for Riley Boone. Edwards is retired. For the first time, she walked her first 3 appearances, scored twice.
And you know the patience that she had to show to be able to walk 3 times. First pitch comes in, she's swinging. Towards the latter half of the game, you have those championship energy. There's a lot of emotion. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up and swayed by that.
Caroline Wong has got to feel overdue tonight. She struck out swinging in the first, looking in the third, fouled out to the catcher in the 5th.
It's a hitter that Oklahoma as a pitching staff has definitely gone. We do not want her to get on base.
Off the this, Avery Hodge now at second base, squeezes the second out. Hannah Kaur, by the way, has moved into right field. And with 2 gone in the 7th, now Carly Godwin, who has been an element of destruction for Sooner pitching. Doubled
That's
in the
putting
first,
it lightly.
2-run double in the 3rd, 2-run homer off Kirsten Deal in the 5th.
2-run, double, here we go.
And originally had an RBI in the 1st. Overturned on video review, play at the plate. So 4 RBIs instead of 5 to give her 46 on the year. To go with now 13 home runs.
I've really been impressed with Carly Keeney, the way that she's come in and shut down a very hot, well-hitting Oklahoma State team. They were starting to square some stuff up against Kelly Maxwell. Kirsten Deal came in.
And here they are, former teammates at Liberty. They were the Battery last year. Keeney missing high to Wong, 2-2.
Yeah, she got Wong out. Bittersweet. But now we have Godwin up.
Godwin, I should say.
Like you said.
She retired Wong. And now
that infamous
Godwin.
Outside corner has Sooner fans vocal. We'll just put it like that.
Didn't get all of that one. Carries almost to the track for Riley Boone at a 1-2-3-7. Last chance for the Sooners. Jennings, Brito, and Hansen due up. Down 3. 3 Cowgirl home runs. And rally cap time for the Sooners. A very unaccustomed position for the 3-time defending national champs. Kilboy's got to work through the heart of the order, though. Jennings, Brito, and Hansen. Came on in the fourth for a while. Kyra Aycock. He walked 6 in 3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, 2 runs.
These three have been clutch for the Sooners all season long. It's not just the heart of the lineup, but it's just the consistency, the patience. And honestly, whenever they hit the ball, it could be a ground ball. They could win with the pitch, but the way they hit it is so hard. A lot of times you see errors being made. Saw 2 last inning, not because of how hard pitches were hit. So if you're Oklahoma State, you just want to take a step back, take a breath, slow down the game, let your defense do what they typically do. Don't try to overachieve anything. Just make your routine plays.
Well hit to center field, but there's room for Poulard, and there's 1 gone in the 7th.
And you can feel the urgency right now. You already knew it. This one well struck. And I want to emphasize on Poulard, whenever she took that first drop step, she was going towards left center without turning and opening her body because that ball was hit so hard. She was able to flip her head and catch that ball pretty quickly.
Alyssa Brito has yet to put a ball into play tonight. She has walked twice and struck out. Start of the day at 4-17, 16 homers, 50 driven in. Boyle again falling behind 2-0.
But going back to that sense of urgency, Oklahoma, they only have 2 outs left. Yes, they have a great lineup, and could they do it? Absolutely. Knowing them, they could. But there is that sense of urgency.
In there. One reason Cowgirls are in this position is they have handled Jennings, Brito, and Hansen. Jennings 0 for 3. Brito 0 for 1. Hansen 0 for 2 with a bases loaded walk to start the scoring of the first.
You asked me earlier this game who has been able to keep Tiare Jennings down. Well, so far this game, Oklahoma State has.
Two to Brito. Rosie Davis for inches to her left, and the Sooners are down to their final out.
And if you're Oklahoma State right now, you're going, oh yeah, this is what we have been grinding for. This is why we have had our backs up against the wall and we have been tough. And getting this game won, Kenny Gajewski had stressed to us, that is his main goal.
Get game 1. That's how he was going to approach using his pitchers today. Saturday and Sunday will take care of themselves. Worked out so far.
I mean, that's the way you have to approach games. Yes, you have to think about it as a whole, as a series, but you can't look ahead too far. You have to focus one game at a time, one pitch at a time.
Once again for Davis, and the Cowgirls take game 1 of the final Bedlam series in Big 12 play, 6-3.
Oklahoma State, they take the first one, put it in their pocket. That was their goal, that was their mission. Now they can look ahead to game 2. But what they did today, that has been the payoff of what they have been working on all year long.
This is up to